probably, I think it's faster than a Raptor. The only one is faster than this one. It's probably Raptor R, Lightning, maybe the Power Boost, but I think Power Boost and Tremor are pretty close to each other. Today I'm talking about my review of the 2024 Ford F-150 Tremor. Yes, the Tremor package is the off-road package for the Ford F-150. This model competes against the Chevrolet Silverado Trail Boss, the Ram 1500 Rebel, and also the GMC Sierra 84. So it's an off-road package. It's more capable, but it's more affordable than a Raptor or a TRX RHO, whatever the new one is at Ram now. So the Tremor package increase your off-road capacities. First of all, I drove several Tremor package back in the day, and also in the F-150. There's one also in the Ranger and the Super Duty. At first, the Tremor was not an off-road package. The first year of the Tremor package was basically more for the performance side of it. It was inspired by the SVT Lightning, not the electrical truck, the SVT truck, just the V8 supercharged one. So it was like a single cab, short box with the EcoBoost engine. And after, a couple of years, the Tremor package became an off-road package. So if you're a little bit confused about that mysterious performance Tremor package, but most people knows the Tremor package as an off-road package these days. It's just me, I've been working a little bit for too long with Ford back in the day, so I'm a little picky about those kind of stuff. But still, talking about this review, I had the Tremor for a full week. Before we start digging into all the specs and all the feature and all that, it's already winter here in Canada, even if we don't have any snow on the ground yet. It's the law to have winter tires on all the cars on the road. So my review is not exactly what you can expect out of all the ride, the performance, the fuel economy, and everything. This truck is on winter tires. The size of these tires have been reduced, so it changed literally everything on the truck. Especially this truck comes with all-terrain tires. Those are 33 inches tires, around that. So it's part of the package. It's part of the off-road capacity. So when you reduce the tires to put some winter tires, it changes a lot the behavior of the truck. But it's part of the game here in Canada. But some of you are wondering why Ford and why the press fleet managers, they don't keep the same type of tires, but just with the little three-peak certification for winter, because you can buy winter tires with the certification to be able to use them in the winter condition. Personally, I use those kind of tires. I used to have them on my Raptor. I used to have them on my Sierra 84, on my Yukon, on my Ram TRX. But it's not for everyone. These tires, you need to adapt your driving style to those tires. They're not the best in really cold situation and also on high sea roads. It's not a big issue for me because I live in the country. I live close to a ski resort. We get tons of snow. These are all-terrain tires made for winter condition. They're pretty good in some deep snow. But if you live more in a city, like most of the automotive journalists out there, sometimes they're struggling and driving these types of tires. Sometimes, the reviews won't be as good as expected because of those tires are not good in those urban high sea condition. And some of those journalists are pretty bad to drive those kind of trucks with those kind of tires. It's not because you're an automotive journalist, you're a good driver. Keep that in mind. Well, let's talk about the price. The Tremor starts at $70,475 Canadian. In the US, it's good for $64,450. And the model I was driving was good for $94,000 Canadian. And if you're in the US, it's good for $83,230. There's some deep discount here in Canada, but I think they're going to end in 2 days, or maybe we're at the end of the month here. So there's some deep discount in Canada, but not in the US. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the price on the website sometime, especially when you're at the end of the month. It can change month to month. So this is why I don't apply any incentive, rebate, and all that in those kind of videos. Maybe you're going to watch this video in the future. Under the hood, we can find the V6 3.5 liter EcoBoost. You can also opt for the 5 liter V8 Coyote. It's an option here in Canada. In the US, I think it's there's no extra fees, so good things for the US one. You can have like a free V8. Here in Canada, we have to pay more for it. This engine is matched to a 10-speed transmission. It's good for 400 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. Obviously, this is an off-road machine. It's a 4x4. Performance-wise, this truck is quite, it's pretty quick. And, I remember 2 years ago, it was one of the quickest F-150 I ever tried. Probably, I think it's faster than a Raptor. The only one who's faster than this one, it's probably Raptor R, Lightning, maybe the Power Boost, but I think Power Boost and Tremor are pretty close to each other. You can do the 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers in about 5.3 seconds. If you prefer the V8, it's good for 6 seconds. And keep in mind, during my tests, I didn't have those bulky 33s, so it was probably even faster than 5.3 seconds. But I was losing some traction. So maybe it wouldn't be really more quick. Probably it wasn't really quicker, but still, it makes a difference when you reduce the size of those tires. Quarter mile time is good for 13.9 seconds. So pretty quick off the line. You got a pretty high differential ratio. It's built for off-roading, so it's the 3.73 differential ratio. So this is one of the reasons why it's quick off the line. On the road, the Tremor is pretty comfortable. I have to keep in mind how this truck was riding with the 33s, because this truck is really made to handle those tires. I thought it was a pretty comfortable ride, especially for an off-road truck. Pretty close to the Raptor ride, but the Raptor ride is always a little bit more softer. You got a wider stance, you've got more traveling into the suspension, but this suspension rides better than the let's say XLT FX4. You've got more traveling, it's better for off-roading, also in rougher roads and all that. But during my test with the winter tires, the ride was not exceptional. I could say it was pretty similar to an XLT FX4. So it's really meant to handle those 33s with that off-road suspension. You've got a Tremor suspension, no fancy Fox or Bilstein, all that. Those are Tremor suspension, but it's an upgrade over the FX4 package, that's for sure. And it was pretty nice on the road. Speaking of the off-road capacities, you've got a special front bumper. It's a modular front bumper, so you can add like special stuff on it. So a winch, you get to add more protection. There's also fog lights integrated to that front bumper. You can see the video behind me. We clearly see the winch. You get also more protection with skid plates and underneath protection on the Tremor. You get also you can opt for the 4x4 auto with the full package. When you get that, there's like an upgrade package with the leather and all that. In Canada, it's about $12,000. In the US, it's $11,000. You can also upgrade for front and back locking differential. Those are torsion locking differential. So when you upgrade your Tremor for the full package, you get that front differentials. So if you do some hardcore off-roading, obviously, when you're able to lock your front diff, it makes a lot of big difference. You've got different off-road mode you can select also. You've got spatial side steps. Those are inspired by the Raptor. They're one of the best side step from my point of view. I love those side steps. They're built for tough to handle, off-roading, snow and all that. So I had the same side step on my Raptor Gen 1. And but on the website it says it's unique to the Tremor package, so super unique. You got 18 inches matte black wheels, and of course you've got those all-terrain tires about 33 inch. That's pretty much what you get with the Tremor, the off-road packaging and all that. If we look at the back, the tailgate, it's the first time I'm trying that new tailgate. Okay. First of all, this is not my cup of tea. I don't like those vertical line into the tailgate. I think it's ugly as hell. But for some people, it's practical. I see why some people would love that. But I'm a little bit old school for these kind of like design into the pickup trucks. Remember back in the day, maybe you're too young, maybe you remember, but when the street truck were something, were popular on the street, a lot of guys, they were shaving those tailgates, so there was like no logos, no nothing, and also they used to remove those back bumper, and it was like a clean look. This is the look I like. I like it clean, simple, not a bunch of stuff. Those lines for me are annoying, and I feel it's kind of ugly, but that's they want to add some feature. Ram's got that 40-60 split. They also have like a one vertical line. I think it's ugly as hell too. GM's got that multi-pole tailgate, but the line of the multi-pole tailgate, it's a little more better looking. It's integrated with the design, and you got a big step to step inside of your box. It's more rugged. It can handle big boys like me, especially if I'm carrying some stuff with me. So basically, you can open that middle part of the tailgate. You get an easier access to your bed without putting down your tailgate. And it's more practical when you have like a trailer hooked up to your truck. So basically, this is one of the reasons why you will choose this feature. In the back, also we can notice dual exhaust exiting on the back. Also here we can notice there's a step underneath the bumper. Ram is doing the same stuff. I got it also on my Ram 1500 2025 in my driving. That's the truck I'm testing this week. This feature always gets super dirty. You get all the mud, the snow, the salt, and everything into that part. And for me, it's just annoying. It just grabs everything from the road and keep it there. It's for me that's not a really useful feature for me, from my point of view, but for some people, it's useful. If we step inside of the Tremor, I love the Tremor trucks. I love the off-road trucks at Ford and all that. I'm a big fan of Ford, but for me, this interior is just, especially here in Canada, this truck is almost $100,000. Maybe it's me because, I spent too much time inside of my Sierra IT4 and my Yukon Denali. For me, a luxurious interior must be luxurious, I could say, even if it's an off-road truck. I don't feel inside of $100,000 truck inside of the Tremor. I feel more inside of a toy. I think the Sierra T4 and also the Ram 1500 Rebel has got a more luxurious, more quality feel interior. This is more close to the Silverado Trail Boss from my point of view. On the website, I'm not sure if it's something in the US or in Canada, but it says the interior is black, and it's not black, it's blue. So the truck I was driving was blue on the outside and blue inside with all those orange insert. I'm sorry, but me, I like it black, So blue, it's a no-go for me. If you don't choose the leather inside of the Tremor, you've got another interior, the cloth interior, and that one is kind of like a camo, military, hunter look. It's not for everyone, but I think it doesn't look that bad, and maybe I would prefer the cloth camo style over the Tremor, especially for the price tag difference between those two options, because when you choose the leather, it comes with all the bells and whistles. And it's a good $11,000 to $12,000, both in the US and Canada. It's about the same price, so it's quite expensive. Otherwise, you know, it's basically all the same interior, all the F-150. It's really similar to the XLT from my point of view. A well-equipped XLT is similar to the Tremor. We got that special shifter who goes down, and you got an office. You got an easy screen to work with, good cameras in the front and the back. You've got auxiliary switches on the roof if you want to add on some lights, some winch, you know, everything you can do it with auxiliary switches. I'm not a big fan of all the plastic and all the material. The blue, the type of jeans, it looks like kind of like a jean material inside of those doors. It's not for me. I think they need to improve their interior at Ford to keep up the game with GM and Ram, from my point of view. And I'm a big fan of Ford and all that. It's just, you know, I was in the F-150, and now this week I'm inside of the Ram, and I'm like, you know, the Ram is a bit nicer. You know, it feels well put together. It feels more quality. Inside of this F-150, it feels a lot like big plastic, and it feels cheaper overall. This one's got the Blue Cruise. Not a big fan of the Blue Cruise. It loves to, you know, do the ping pong between the lines. It likes to hug the metal line. And for me, it's just annoying. It's not a feature I would recommend for the moment. The only one who's really good for like hands-free driving is the Supercrew, for my point of view. And Ford is not there yet. Hopefully in the future they're gonna step up their game of the Blue Cruise to be at the same level as the GM Supercrew. But otherwise, you know, comfortable, practical. Inside of the cab, same kind of space. In the back, also practical with the kids. You can lift up the seat. You've got a compartment. You can put all kind of stuff. Overall, really practical, same as all the other F-150 Supercrew. Now, speaking of the fuel consumption, it was quite thirsty, even if I didn't have the 33 inches tires. It was about around 14.5 liters, about 15 liters per 100 kilometers. If you're in the US, 16.8, about 16 miles per gallon. It was quite thirsty, and remember, I was not on the right tire, so you can expect maybe into the 15 miles per gallon. So it was quite thirsty, and I remember the previous model, the 2023, the 2023 model I drove was about 15 or 17 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's quite thirsty, even with the caboose. You know, it's built for off-roading. You've got a high differential ratio. You've got all those extra weights of the protection underneath. So it won't be the best for the fuel economy. So it's an off-road machine. So you have to make a sacrifice on that. If we're looking at the towing capacity, you know, I had to dig into the towing guide of Ford and everything. All the information online was false. So you have to make some deep research for these off-road trucks. The right number is 10,200 pounds. And you know, when I was doing a quick research online, everywhere it was saying 13,500 pounds or 14,000 pounds. This is not the right amount of weight, especially, you know, for this type of suspension, this type of, you know, setup on this truck. So you have to make a sacrifice on the towing capacities. And on the payload, I was not able to find the right number. So I think the payload, it's around 1,800 pounds, you know, that's not the right number, but it's around that number. Overall, this is a nice package. I think they need to improve it to be equal to the competition, especially the Rebel and the AT4. I think the sweet spot, from my point of view, it's the base model, the base Tremor with the cloth interior. Maybe you're going to do some sacrifice on maybe a few technologies like the sunroof, and maybe on a couple of gadgets and other stuff, maybe the front diff and little stuff, not a big sacrifice, but there's a huge gap. There's a big difference between $70,000 Canadian and 94, and if you're in the US, between 64 and 83. I think if you do some off-roading, if you don't need all the bells and whistles and all the equipment, I think it's more, there's a better value with the base model from my point of view, because if you're a little bit more picky, maybe you don't need all those off-road capacities, but for the same price, you can step into a Lariat, a King Ranch, almost in a Platinum, not in the Raptor yet, but if you prefer luxury to the off-road capacities and you look at the fully loaded one, you can easily go into those luxurious model. And also, if we're looking at the competition, I need to check for the RAM, but I know for the CRT4, you're not able to get an ET4 with a cloth interior. And I don't think you can get a cloth Rebel interior. I'm not sure for 2025. I think it was like that in 2024. But that's the advantage of choosing that Tremor. So it's a little bit more flexible for the wallet, I could say. So if you're a fan of off-roading, sometimes you need to inflate your tires and deflate your tires. I just got a nice air compressor from Lasfit. You know, I get those gadgets all the time, and I got several of those, but this is the nicest one I received so far. So it's a little bigger than the other ones I got, but this one, it's more equipped, it's more rugged, it's bigger, it's made to inflate more, maybe more like a pickup truck tires. So with this, you've got a flashlight, you can recharge your phone, you can do a bunch of things. You can inflate your bicycle, your balloons and all that. And also you can set your PSI, and it's going to give you also the reading of the tire at which PSI they are. I'm used to those products. I used to carry those always with me while I was traveling. I had one, not this one, but another model like this inside of my Yukon Denali, but my Yukon Denali got stolen with my air compressor inside. So now I got a brand new one to test, thanks to Lasfit here. So if you're interested to have a portable air compressor just like that, check out my link in my description. I'm going to put the link in my description if you're interested into that product. So let me know in the comments which F-150 Tremor it's the better value for your point of view. Is it the base one? Is it the fully equipped one? Is it maybe another model from the competition, a Rebel, a Trail Boss, AT4? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we're going to see each other on the next podcast.